Right, Chelsea Football Club suffer a massive blow in our hopes to secure Champions League football next season after drawing 2-2 with Ipswich, coming back from 2 goals down. But believe me, when you put 2 goals past Ipswich at Stamford Bridge, I honestly don't believe there is an excuse for not winning that game. And actually, when you deep into it and you look at Enzo Maresca's record against Kieran McKenna, even last season in the Championship, he failed to beat Kieran McKenna's Ipswich side when he had Leicester City a cut above, most would say, any other team in the Championship, let alone newly promoted Ipswich Town. So to say that Chelsea, with our embarrassment of riches and with the money that we've spent, shouldn't be beating Ipswich Town, I don't know. It's crazy. My head's a bit gone at this moment in time. I fully expected us to get the 3 points today. This is the team sheet that you can see on screen now that we went with, and let's be honest, it's a close to perfect starting 11, isn't it? You could look at it and you could maybe say that instead of tossing Adarabioyo, you'd have had Trevor Chalobah in the middle and Reece James at right back, or vice versa instead of Trevor Chalobah. But either way, I think that's a close to perfect starting 11, what we went with. And ultimately, I don't really think that there are any excuses. I think that when you put 2 goals past Ipswich and have the amount of opportunities that we had today at Stamford Bridge, you cannot come up with an excuse for not beating Ipswich. Now, 7 minutes into the match, we get our first big chance of the game. It falls to Nicholas Jackson. I do think he was very unlucky to not open the scoring. It's good link-up play between Enzo Fernandez and Noni Madueke out on the right-hand side. It's actually Enzo Fernandez who instigates the 1-2, gets it back from Madueke. He drills the ball back across, and Jackson gets a toe on it. It is on to the post. Now, Madueke with a couple of chances after that one. Out of our wide players today, and we get on to Jadon Sancho who came on, but out of our wide players today, Madueke definitely the most creative. The first of these chances, he wriggles out, cutting onto his favoured left foot. He gets the shot off, it's on target, but it's blocked. The second chance, Pedro Neto cuts a high ball across the box, and it drops to Noni Madueke. He takes it on the volley, but again, I think it was just about wide of the post into the side netting. Now 17 minutes, right? Alex Palmer, the Ipswich goalkeeper, who was definitely their man of the match today, by the way, he's forced to make a decent save from Noni Madueke. It wasn't from Noni Madueke, sorry, it was an in-swinger curled in from Noni Madueke. Levi Colwell gets his head to it. It was a decent header from Levi Colwell. I think he had stayed up from a corner. Decent enough header, but yeah, decent power on it, but the placement of it wasn't great. You need it a bit more towards the side, towards the post. Even then, with the form that Alex Palmer was in today, you'd imagine he'd still probably save that shot. So it ended up being quite a simple one for him. And just a minute or so later, Ipswich, who to that point hadn't had a sniff, go on the counter-attack and end up putting one past us. Ben Johnson gets the ball on the right-hand side. Cucurella tracks him, but Cucurella doesn't attempt to put a challenge in, right? Maybe he's looking at it and he's thinking, do you know what? We've got 3 Chelsea defenders, maybe 4 Chelsea defenders, something like that, in the box right now. Ipswich has just got the 2 of them, but all it took was the toe poke almost from Asensio. Now, he's scored better goals than that at Stamford Bridge when he was playing for Brighton, and that toe poke takes it past Robert Sanchez. And at this point, right, Chelsea had been playing free-flowing football, creating a lot, playing really decent actually, and mustering up a fair few opportunities, a fair few chances where I felt we could have gone in front. And I was looking at it and I was going, right, okay, that's a blow, but this is really where we're going to see whether we can come back from this or not. And it had been something like 300-odd minutes, 400-odd minutes since we had scored a first-half goal. And I thought, this is where we really, really need to respond. This is where we need to show a bit of character and show, okay, we can come through the storm when it rains, yeah? Because ultimately, we started the match well. We tailored off slightly for that goal, but let's just show our class here now and let's really bombard the Ipswich box. And I don't think that we did respond in that way, because despite one or two sort of half chances, we concede a second fucking goal. A second goal is just not good enough. It's poor in transition. It's poor in defending. George Hurst, the man who was brought in to probably definitely not what Ipswich fans would have wanted today. They would have wanted Liam Delap starting, and you actually saw the class from Liam Delap when he did come on, but they would have wanted Liam Delap starting, but George Hurst wins a header which instantly puts them on to a break. This time it's roles reversed. Incensio crosses it. Ben Johnson heads it past Robert Sanchez into the net. We have Ipswich pinned back for the rest of the first half, but no real prevail. And at half-time, I stuck an accumulator on, actually. I backed the Chelsea win because I kind of felt like we were going to come back into it. I felt like Enzo Maresca's teams have come out better for the second half of recent, and I don't think when you look at the scoreline, well, do you know what? I was about to say I don't think you can deny that we did come out better. Nah, don't think we did. I think we got 2 goals in the second half, but I don't think we were better in the second half. I actually thought that for the first half, it was mostly Chelsea attacking Ipswich and Ipswich sitting in defending, looking for opportunities on the counter-attack, whereas in the second half, I thought there were large moments of sort of like 10, 15-minute periods where we just didn't really do much, didn't create much and whatnot. So I'll retract what I was about to say, where Chelsea were better. We were better in terms of we converted 2 goals in that second half, but I did think that we would come back. I still thought we'd win the match at half time, and obviously it shows how optimistic I am. And I was very optimistic as it started. I think it was 18 seconds into the first half. We pull one back after Enzo Fernandez passes on Nicholas Jackson's header. Noni Madueke finds himself with 1v1 on the wing. The certain sort of situation that Enzo Maresca loves him for. And he comes up trumps. He beats his man. He drills it across the face of goal. We all cheer thinking Mark Cucurella's toe poked one in. Twanzebe, I think it came off in the end, but it was mostly Cucurella's doing. That wouldn't have been an own goal if it wasn't Cucurella that came in to get a toe poke on it there. Ends up coming off the defender's shin, I think. So a scrappy goal, but a beauty of a goal, by the way, is scored in about 10 minutes of Jadon Sancho coming off onto the field. Noni Madueke came off. I think it was around 70 minutes. I should have it written down. I think it was around 70 minutes. Madueke comes off. There were boos from the crowd. Jadon Sancho, there's a corner that was played very, very quickly. Enzo Fernandez to Cole Palmer. Cole Palmer puts it to Jadon Sancho. He's got a little bit of time on the ball. Jadon Sancho placement shots it, curls it perfectly into the top right hand corner there. Beauty of a goal. Probably the easiest assist that Cole Palmer will get this season. 92 minutes in, Cole Palmer has... It's just heartbreaking, really. He has a beauty of an effort saved by Alex Palmer in the Ipswich goal. Left-footed placement shot, curling. Couldn't have placed it too much better other than if it had been maybe on the ground or into the top corner. All I could say was maybe it was a good height for the goalkeeper. He didn't need to get down low. He didn't need to get up high. He comes straight across. But I don't know, 9 out of 10 times I think that goes in, and I think that that's why you have to give the Ipswich goalkeeper the man of the match for this one, because he saves that, and not only that, he makes another unreal save in the 94th minute when the ball is cut across. Enzo Fernandez blasts one. Alex Palmer just makes himself big for this one. He gets kind of lucky with the save, but you make your own luck in this life, and I think that Ipswich made their own luck today. They took their chances on the counter-attack, and Chelsea didn't really have all that much of an answer for it. I thought that we would see a Chelsea side come out with a lot more resilience in that second half. I thought we'd have a lot more bite in that second half. And although it started off well, it tapered off as well. And I think that with picking up just that 1 point today, look, maybe if Man United go and do us a favour and beat Newcastle, then we stay fifth and we can be a little bit more optimistic. But the point puts us back above Aston Villa, as I say. Although, when you look at it, They've won 4 out of their last 5 in the Premier League. They do have a fairly tricky run in Aston Villa, but I don't know. Let's see how they do against PSG first, because that could be a distraction. If they pull off a bit of a miracle there and Unai Emery's men are able to overcome his former club in PSG, then maybe it might make their run-in even trickier. More games to play, focus in other areas and whatnot, but it's going to be hard. As for Newcastle, as I say, they'll likely be back above us by the time you're watching this, or by the end of the day, either way, because I back them to beat Man United, but obviously hoping that Man United can pull something out the bag there. The bookies have Man United as a 3-1 underdog in that one, so I think that tells you what you need to know. Yeah, I don't know. It basically means that by the time you're watching this, if you're watching it in the evening at least, Newcastle have probably put Champions League football out of our hands, in terms of it's in our hands. It's a home run. If we win all our games, we win it, even if everyone else wins all their games, right? So then, once it's out of our control, I look at the rest of them. I don't know, man. Man City have been shit by their standards this year, but I don't see them dropping all that many points in their remaining fixtures. If you have a look at their fixtures, I don't think that you'll look at too many in there. You might look at a few of Man City's games and go, oh, they could drop points there, but you'd fancy them to win in most of those games. And I've also said, I know they went 2 behind yesterday, but I've also said that Haaland coming out of the team might make it a little bit better for him, because with Mamouche, I think it's a little bit more free-flowing, and I think that you'll start to see the goals shared out a little bit more, although they do still have key injuries. I still fancy Forest to get over the line, but maybe we could include them into the mix with us now. So really, you've got 4 teams, yeah? You've got Chelsea, you've got Forest, you've got Newcastle, you've got Aston Villa competing for 2 spots, because I think that with top 5, I think that 3 spots are already filled with Liverpool, Arsenal and Manchester City. So maybe you could put Forest in there with us. I don't know. It's a hard one, isn't it? It really is a hard one. I think when you look at that, you got 4 teams, 2 spots, and then you got to evaluate those 4 teams, and you got to go, well, Forest have consistently been better all season, and I don't think they've got harder fixtures than us. I think that when you look at the form that both Newcastle and Aston Villa are in, that would favour them over us. We have to play Newcastle. That's a real 6-pointer. That's a huge game. It's away at St James's Park. It's going to be a really, really hard one, to be honest. So, yeah, it leads me to say that I'm not saying we're not going to get Champions League football, but if we do get it, I think we'd have been lucky to have got it, to be completely honest. I do think that we would have been a bit lucky. And again, you're going to ask the question, who holds accountability here? Is it the players? Is it the manager? Is it the board? And I think you can sprinkle a little bit on everyone. But again, I'm going to sound like a broken record here. This isn't me sticking my flag in the ground and saying, no, Enzo Maresca's brilliant. You're just not seeing it. You're just whatever. I don't know, man. I don't know. There was talk that we were going to go for Kieran McKenna when we went for Enzo Maresca. Would Kieran McKenna have Chelsea higher in the league right now? I don't know. I'm not saying he would. I'm not saying he wouldn't. You know what I mean? If we had gone and got Ruben Amorim, would he have Chelsea higher in the league right now? I don't know. I'm not saying he would. I'm not saying he wouldn't. But can the fault lie on Enzo Maresca wholly when you look at this Chelsea side and the work that was done most significantly when the fall-off came in January? And when I say the work that was done, I mean the work that was done and the work that wasn't fucking done from our board. And I look at it and I say that the blame lies with the board. The blame really does lie with the board. Because there'll be people, there'll be Chelsea fans, there'll be non-Chelsea fans that will say, hold on, you've spent all this money, you've bought all these players in, and the start of the season would show you that you weren't badly equipped. You know, you had 2-3 players for every position and whatnot. But actually, I think that the form that we had at the start of this season and the way that we were playing football, we were riding the high off of how we finished last season almost, you know. Cole Palmer playing so well, Cucurella playing so well, Moises Caicedo, Enzo Fernandez fitting into that team so much better this season than he did last season. So there have been minor improvements in ways, but it tailed off, and when it has tailed off, I don't think that Enzo Maresca's had much of an answer for it. And the reason I say the blame lies so much with the board is because I don't really think they went out and backed him. I don't really think they didn't go out and back him in January. It was clearly obvious to me in January that we needed to look at bringing in a striker. It was clearly obvious to me in January that João Felix would have been the better option than Christopher Nkunku. There were other key areas, really. There were areas that needed addressing, players that needed to be recalled from loan spells. And it just didn't happen. It didn't happen. And I think that you can go back to the start of the season as well, and you can excuse the Andre Santos one. You can excuse that because at the start of the season we didn't know what sort of season he was going to have. But sending Petrovic out on loan, shit. Yeah, really, really shit. So it is what it is. It is what it is. We might still get Champions League football. We might not. I think there's a 50-50 chance now. I don't necessarily think that if we do get Champions League football, you'll hear me saying, well, even so, I'm still going to be miserable because, we got it luckily and we don't deserve it and we'll probably just get dumped out in the group stages or some shit like that, because that's silly logic. Do you know what I mean? Even if you get it and you were lucky to get it, be thankful you got it and celebrate getting it, because you got to take the wins where they come. And it's been a little while since Chelsea have had all that much to celebrate about. Listen, we'll go through against Legia Warsaw. Hopefully we'll beat them and put in a good performance. I'll be there on Thursday night. And then all eyes on Craven Cottage. If this wasn't a must-win game, fuck me, that one is. And let's just hope Man United do us a favour today. I don't really know, man. I don't really know. Not much for me to be cheerful about in this post-match review. But if you are new around here, subscribe to the channel. I'll see you all in the next one.